Hey, it is Monday, April 2nd, 2018, and this is the Kanye West News Rundown presented by Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West. My name is Chris Lambert, and it's Monday again, and nothing terribly exciting happened over the weekend. There was a lot of hype for it, given the fact that it was Good Friday, following up with Easter, and we know that Kanye has had the brand marketing of Good Friday releases a few times now with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Cruel Summer, Life of Pablo. So people were kind of hoping with the not delay, but the gap between albums, that this might be one of the times that we could maybe guess that new music was going to come out, because when better to have a Good Friday release than Good Friday. Unfortunately, wasn't the case. We weren't graced with anything. There were some rumors that maybe Easter Sunday we would get something, but nothing happened then either. So we went through a weekend just like any other weekend without getting any Kanye music. But there's some Kanye news, not a whole bunch, but there's some, as always. So let's get into that. You can see the rundown. One thing I wanted to talk about, there's been a bunch of talk about somebody that was injured in the Adidas factory where they make the Yeezy sneakers, and it's weird to me that it's always really branded as like a Kanye employee was injured during the making of Yeezys. Like, I mean, I guess it's not surprising that the media finds a way to tie Kanye's name into it. But from all the details that I've been reading about this, it feels like it was a guy that worked at Adidas and happened to be on the Yeezy assembly line, and this machine fell on him, which is awful. He seems to be thankfully okay, but it's just crazy to me how much this has been thrown onto Kanye, and it seems often in a negative way, just how the tone's being used. So this has been talked about for over a week now, and details keep kind of leaking and emerging, like with this 911 call, which I haven't listened to, but I guess I just wanted to bring to attention the fact that this has continued to be kind of branded as a Kanye-related incident rather than an Adidas-related incident, and maybe I don't know enough, and it's me being ignorant of how these companies kind of have the relationship worked out, but how it's been talked about has been strange to me because it's mostly Kanye and very little talked about with Adidas. Weird. There's this profile on earnthenecklace.com about Amina Blue, and you may know Amina as she has appeared in, I think, almost every Yeezy season, except the ones that were, I guess, 7. She appeared in 6 in the photos of models recreating Kim Kardashian wearing the Yeezy season 6. She was part of, 1 through 5. So she has been talked about as a muse for Kanye in the past, and things have been written about her over the years, but this is, I guess, the most recent thing that I've seen discussing Amina Blue. So if you want a little bit more detail about how she met Kanye, her career, this is a good article for that. And she has her career because of her relationship with Kanye, which is actually a theme of some of the articles. It seems to be that people had very similar ideas in the wake of Virgil Abloh being tapped to be the head of menswear for Louis Vuitton. So this article and this one on The Observer, or The Guardian, by Morwenna Ferrier, the rise and rise of Kanye West's influence on fashion. And it kind of goes over the fact of these people that have been in Kanye's circle working with him in some way. And it doesn't mention Joe Perez, who we interviewed, but wanted to give a shout out to Joe Perez as well, who's done a lot of work in the fashion and music industry with a lot of his album designs. And his career got started thanks to Kanye. So this is for people that are into the fashion side of things, this is an article that gives a little bit more information in that regard. This is pretty good. April Fools, for what we're doing with this YouTube channel, April Fools turns out to be kind of a dangerous period of time. I'm sure most media people are aware of that, but just getting into the media game, So there were a lot of Kanye-related April Fool's stories floating about, but this one was my favorite because it was one of the ones that's just like clearly April Fool's, but walks that line just enough to where you could get excited for a second that maybe it's true without getting your heart crushed in the aftermath. So this is just written by Claire Oliver on thecollegian.com, and just says that Kanye was going to be performing at Colorado State University, doing an organ concert series, which actually sounds pretty phenomenal. If Kanye was going to be playing an organ somewhere and doing original compositions, I would be there. I would pay a lot of money to be there. What else do we got going on? Oh, the zoo pictures. So, People Babies section, which I never thought I'd frequent, but frequent pretty often now. Kanye West can't stop smiling on a family trip to the zoo with Kim Kardashian, North, and Saints. So, I think a lot of people that are on our Kanye or on the Twitter Kanye community have probably seen these pictures floating around. Maybe not all of them, but at least a few of them. So it was kind of cool to see them all collected. The article doesn't really give that much information about the trip or what was going on, but you just kind of get to scroll through and see some of the pictures. So if you want to look at those and get any more details, that link is down below. Just a nice little tidbit that shows the longevity of Kanye songs. Champions, which seem to be the precursor for an imminent release of Cruel Winter, which was a prophecy that sadly did not come to fruition. Especially as this article talks about, Travis Scott had said that it was going to be out, he thought, by February 2017. So, on the one hand, I'm happy that C. Vernon Coleman II shared this news. On the other hand, it just makes me sad all over again that it seemed like the tip of the iceberg for this project that a lot of us have been hyped about for 4 years at that point. And now that we're 2 years later and it's still not out. Kanye works in mysterious ways. He works in mysterious ways. But it's nice that the albums continued to, or the record has continued to gain momentum, plays, and be popular. Maybe that's reaching that platinum status will be enough in and of itself to maybe get Cruel Winter back in the pipeline. But that's some wishful thinking, ain't it? This is just an article following up on something that we had talked about before, which was the Washington Post discussing Kanye's impact on Adidas. And this just kind of takes a quote from that article and makes another article about it, which is a lot of modern journalism, right? One story breaks and every other outlet just copies and redoes it. So pretty short, just kind of a review, but I think it's nice to see stocknews.com talking about Kanye, and just I think further shows the areas that he's now affecting as not just as a musician, but as like a pop culture figure. Somebody affecting the zeitgeist. So what do we got now? A few more things. So XXL, Roger Crass talks about the release of the Yeezy Season 6 slides. They went up for sale on Yeezy.com, Yeezy Supply, and also at Brown's Fashion. Yeah. So they were available, $150. I don't know how I feel about them. I guess I have no thoughts on these whatsoever. Part of me thinks that they might look really comfortable. Part of me doesn't know what I'd do with them. But they're sold out already, so I guess it's not a problem that I'm going to have to worry about anytime soon. But it did help, because you kind of see them and you're just like, I don't know how fashionable, me personally not being that fashionable, you kind of look at them and you're like, I don't know how fashionable these are going to be, but when you see the model that Brown's Fashion has, I get more of what kind of look they're going with. Can I not get that to load? Well, I can't scroll down any further to make it appear. Sorry about that. But there's a link that takes you to Brown's Fashion, and you can see this image and see the actual full body scale. Oh no, what did I do? I clicked out of the window and made it huge, which messed up the window framing. Okay, there we go. And just the last couple of things. Our Kanye, there was a post, yay, at the studio with Rick Rubin on Easter Sunday, Turbo incoming, which, who knows at this point? I mean, we do know that there might be new music in the pipeline, but we thought that with Cruel Winter. I guess I'm starting to get a little jaded with nothing coming out on Good Friday, to where all my hype of like, this is another sign that something's coming, I'm just like, is it really, is anything really anything? Will there ever be music again in this world? But, if we're looking for positive signs, this seems like a pretty positive sign. We know that Rick Rubin has often been, I don't know if muse is the right word, but often been a fairy godfather when it comes to Kanye and albums. So Kanye being at the point where he's spending time with Rick Rubin, it could just be a friendly thing, but I think there's music. So, and then that's his aunt in the picture. We think the one that was on Family Feud. So it's definitely the right hair color, yay, to be present day. So I don't feel terribly faked out. But the fact that this picture was posted on April Fool's, I'm also a little worried. But I hope it's something. And just this post cracked me up. It's just bow in the presence of greatness, and it's when Amy Schumer tried to do her fake fall in front of Kanye to see what would happen, and Kanye and Kim just walked right on past her. Did it acknowledge her? Did it say anything? We're just like, I don't want to be involved. Not getting involved, and walked on. So nice little meme there. And I think that does it for this episode. We'll have more news tomorrow. We put out episodes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you get 4 days of Kanye West news rundowns. Monday tends to be the longest, just because we have the week Friday through Monday to cover. But if you're enjoying these, you can subscribe. And that's a way to make sure that you see everyone. You can follow us on Twitter at Kanye Podcast for daily and almost hourly conversations about Kanye and Kanye content. We have a podcast that you saw at the beginning of this video. We have over 160 episodes, 80 song lyrical deconstructions, which our bread and butter is thematic and narrative explorations of Kanye's work, with our major thesis being Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, and The Life of Pablo are concept albums, meaning stories with beginnings, middles, and endings. So if you want to hear more about that, you can listen to our podcast. We're available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Music, AudioMack. You can find us in all those places. And if you want to support us financially, which would be really great. We'd appreciate it. We have a Patreon. Our current goal is getting up to $300 a month so we can consistently hire artists to make unique shirts and things that are inspired by, Kanye fandom. So we currently have two shirts in the works that will be up for sale hopefully sometime this month. But there'll be a link to it. I'll be talking about it a lot. Patreon subscribers get first dibs on that, and they also get discounts. So if you want to support us through that, you can and get those benefits. And if you just really want to help us in a non-monetary way, subscribing, watching other videos, and leaving any reviews on iTunes are a way of doing that. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any requests of topics to talk about, go ahead and comment or tweet at us, and we'll get to them. You can also catch live streams of me playing Overwatch and talking about Kanye. Those happen here on YouTube and are usually most nights around 10:30 p.m. Central Time. I think that's it for this outro, and thanks for listening.